Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to use the products and services feature in QuickBooks Online. So you would go here to sales and then to products and services. This is a sample company, so there are a lot of items already set up. But if you want to create items in your own company, you would just click on this green new button. And in this company, they have several items and they also have categories. You don't need the categories, you just need the items. But if you have a long list, you might find the categories helpful to find stuff more quickly. And the idea behind using products and services is that you are going to use these items. These are the items that you sell in your company, and you're going to use these items on your customer invoices. When you create an invoice, let me just pretend I'm creating an invoice. You can see that it does not allow you to directly put an income account in here. You have to use a product or service. And the product or service that you use is linked to an income account. And I'm just going to click on a couple of these just to give you an idea of what they look like. This is a service item called design. They actually have categories here. You can add a new category here if you want, but again, this item is not needed. This description is what is going to print on the actual invoice that the customer sees. If you have a specific sales price, you can put that here. But if you use different prices for different customers, I would suggest just leaving this blank. And then you want to attach it to an income account. And then you want to make sure your sales tax is correct. If it's taxable, you're going to want this to say taxable. If it's not taxable, you're going to want to choose non-taxable. And then you can also link it to an expense account if you also purchase the item from a vendor. But in this particular case, you probably don't. But say you purchased it from a vendor or a subcontractor and then sold it to a customer, maybe you would use this, or for inventory items, you'd probably use this. But for just regular service items, more than likely, you're not going to put anything there. Okay, and then I also want to point out the categories. If you go to the gear icon and go to all lists, this is where you can see all your product categories and do edits, and you can also add new categories here. Okay, let me go back to the products and services page, and I'm going to go through adding items. So you have 4 different options here. Inventory would be for products that you sell. And if you want to set up your items, it does give you the option to put in an initial quantity that you have on hand as of a specific date. You do need that date because that helps QuickBooks track your quantities. And then it is going to be linked to an inventory account. This is an asset account on your balance sheet. Because when you're selling products, you have 2 things going on behind the scenes. You have the product that you purchased for one price, and then you sell it to a customer for a different price. So it's actually a little more complicated than just selling a service at a specific price. So you do need to track quantities in your inventory account. You'll also need to track your income account for the sales price that the customer pays. So your inventory account would track the cost that you paid to buy it, and then the income account is the sales price that you sold it to the customer for. It probably is going to be taxable. And then the expense account is also in here because this is an accounting topic that maybe I'll make a video about in the future, but when you buy it and sell it, it's coming in and out of the inventory account, but then you also have an expense when you sell it of the cost. So it's a little complicated, but this is the instance where you have multiple accounts going on for purchases and sales, and it gets a little complicated on the accounting side. But for this, you are just entering the information as it is shown here. And then you can also add a non-inventory item. If you don't feel like tracking your inventory quantities in QuickBooks, you can use this item instead. Or there's going to be some items that maybe you necessarily don't need quantities of. And it gives you an example here, nuts and bolts used in an installation. And then for service, that would be if you're a service business or you provide services to your customers, you would use this. And more than likely it's just attached to an income account, not a cost account. And then the other item in here is a bundle. If you're not familiar with products and services and you're just getting started, you may not want to use this, but basically this is a way to create a package of items. For example, for a bookkeeping company, they may have a line item for payroll services, a line item for accounts receivable services, and so on. And maybe they have different prices or different quantities for each individual line item. You can display the components of that bundle on the customer invoice, or you can choose to hide that and show the customer only one line of the total. So that's optional. So I just want to point this out. If you're new to QuickBooks and new to products and services, you may not want to mess with this, but it is a good feature if you sell packages of several items all at once. And this just makes it easier because you can add a bunch of things here. And if you know that you provide a certain package to your customers, but you have to track all the different inventory items in that package, then this would be a good thing to use because you could list everything in that package. Okay, so let me just do an example. I'm going to create a service item. I'm going to put it in the landscaping category. I'm going to do landscaping labor, and I'm going to assume this has a sale price of $80 an hour. I'm going to choose an income account, and this particular sample company has a lot of different types of income accounts. So I'm going to choose this, landscaping services labor. And then for the taxable or non-taxable, I'm going to make this non-taxable. It does give you a lot of suggestions if you're not sure, but since every state is different, then I would think you should look it up at your state Department of Revenue or country Department of Revenue, depending on where you're at. Okay, and that's all I need to do to add it. So I'm going to save and close. And then I'm going to demonstrate how to put that on an invoice. So just for demonstration purposes, so you can see cash versus accrual, I'm going to change this invoice date to last month. I'm going to find my item, and you can see that I can change the quantity, but it pre-filled at $80 an hour. Okay, so I'm going to save this. And let's just assume that payment was received today. So I'm going to receive the payment on May 20th. And save and close. Well, it did save and new. Okay. Now let's just go to the report section and see what that looks like. I'm going to choose the profit and loss for this month. Now I'm doing accrual basis, so it's not going to show up in May because I dated the invoice in April. So accrual basis is going to show your sales based on when you created the invoice. But cash basis is going to show your sales based on when you recorded the receipt of money. So under cash basis, that is going to show up in May because I posted the payment in May. But under accrual basis, I would have to go back to last month to see that. And it's in here somewhere. There it is. And that's all there is to it. Obviously, a service business is going to be a lot less complicated than a business that sells inventory. I do want to point out, occasionally, if you edit an item, this doesn't always happen, but let me see what happens here. Now, do you notice that as soon as I clicked on it, it changed it to taxable, whereas before it was non-taxable. It did not have that taxable button checked. So I just wanted to point this out because I noticed that QuickBooks sometimes will change that taxable. It will change it to taxable just randomly, even though I didn't want to change it. So just be careful of that if you make any changes to any items. You want to make sure you have taxable versus non-taxable correct. Okay, and then one last thing we're going to do is go to the reports and look at a couple other reports. So there are these sales by product services detail, sales by product service summary reports. I'm going to just click on one and choose this year to date, cash basis. Okay, you can see that it creates this report that shows me what has been sold for each individual product or service. So that's really helpful because it also shows the percentage of that. And then one other report I want to talk about is the inventory valuation report. I'm just going to go to the summary report. It shows me what is on hand for each item that they keep in inventory. So if you use this for your inventory related business, this report would be really helpful for you because it would show you what you have on hand. Now it shows you the asset value. Asset value is always at cost. So just keep that in mind. It is not your sales price. So I just clicked on one to show you an example and I changed it to all dates so you can see the history. So they have this fountain pump that they purchased for $10 an hour, and this tracks every time they buy it and sell it at cost. But your income account is going to show your sales price to your customer because your customer is probably going to pay more for this item than $10, so you can make a profit. And then I also want to point out that this keeps track of your quantities. So when you write a check, so when you sell an item on an invoice, it obviously deducts that. So they sold a couple of these items on a couple of invoices. So let's just look at one of these to see what it looks like. So here it is, the fountain pump. They sold one for $15, so they made a $5 profit. Okay, let me go back to this and show you something else. So this also shows you where they started out with 16 items. So it was important to track that beginning quantity when they set up that item so that they would know how many they started with. So they have an accurate count of 25 right now. And then also I want to point out that they purchased a couple of these items as well. They wrote a check to Hicks Hardware to purchase 3 of them. So when they did the purchase, they had to make sure that they noted that they bought 3 of these items by using this item section and using the product service on a check. So you're using the items of inventory on the sales invoice, and you also have to put that item when you purchase it on your check or your vendor bill. So just keep that in mind. If you want an accurate count, you're going to have to make sure that every purchase and sale is marked correctly. And then let's also look at the vendor bill. So here they bought 8 of them on this vendor bill for $10 each. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now this items section on vendor bills is not a default setting in QuickBooks. You have to enable this. So if you are doing inventory in QuickBooks, you need to enable this. And I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So you would go to the gear icon, go to your settings, and go to expenses. And you can see that there's this bills and expenses section. That's what you need to look at. So I'm going to just click on this little pencil icon to edit. You need to make sure this one that says show items table on expense and purchase forms is highlighted, and then save it. So you will have to do that. QuickBooks does not default to that setting. But otherwise, that's pretty much how it works. If you have any specific questions, feel free to comment below and I'll try to answer them. I know this was a really brief overview. Hopefully it gave you a good idea on how to get started though. But thank you for watching.